All right, Rob, roaster number 2.
The Nesco.
Yeah, so I just want to point out for folks that last time we almost died, so this time they put us down here where we can have some ventilation. Thank
Quick
God.
fire escape if necessary.
I did actually lose a month of memory, I think, from 4th grade, but
it's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird.
So why don't you tell me about the Nesco, what its features are and what you know so far about it.
All right, so what we are hoping to find out is whether or not the internal catalytic converter on this guy will eliminate some of the stench and smoke that we got from the last one.
You didn't like hotboxing, huh, Rob?
Well, I did. No, but so apparently this one's going to be a little bit less stinky at the end of everything.
Okay.
We will, of course, be the judge of that.
Exactly.
One thing that I'm going to immediately complain about again on this one versus just as similar with the iRoast is once it's going, you're not stopping it unless you unplug it.
Got it.
Maybe I'm missing something though with each one of these so far. There's no on-off switch, so it's if it's going, if it's roasting, you're unplugging the machine if you want it off.
Okay.
The other thing I kind of noticed that we'll see how it works, but 2 things. One, the roast quantity on this one seems to be quite a bit lower. The fill line is much. That seems like maybe half a cup, so it's about half the roast quantity of the iRoast.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that I noticed that was a little weird is in order to roast such a small quantity of beans, this roaster requires about 25 minutes.
Whoa.
Which is almost double the iRoast.
The iRoast was actually pretty speedy.
Yeah, actually almost a little too fast for us.
So we got some tips, Rob. I posted our first
round 1.
Yeah. And so people said, we need to be roasting with our ears, not our eyes.
The second crack. Yeah.
Yeah. So as soon as the second crack happens, then we do the cooling.
Yep.
So as soon as we hear that first crack, the second crack supposedly will come shortly thereafter. So as soon as we hear that popping noise, you should get your break. Okay. That might actually get us so that we're not so dark roasted.
And what do we do with the butt crack?
I'm not sure, actually. We get some suspenders, I guess.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Better luck. All right. So here we go. We're going to take off the chaff catcher thingamajig.
The chaff catcher.
I'm sure that's the
also one of my names in college.
Okay. So we have a little bit of leftover from the last one. It looks like we're going to use just a little bit more to bring us up to that fill line.
Unless you want to go for your signature dark roast again, Rob.
We'll see how this one goes. So that looks about right.
Okay. Now, before we get that going, do you want to give me a little tour of what this interface implies?
Once you plug it in, actually 20 comes up as the default setting. It says in the instruction manual, though, that for a medium, that's for a light roast. 20 would be for a light roast.
And that's the time frame.
Yeah. So and exactly, in minutes. So you're probably going to want to just press the up button here. You can, up more time, down less time.
Okay.
Pretty easy. Recall just brings up the last setting you used, so if you turn it off and then back on it, if you hit recall, it'll bring you to that. Start, pretty self-explanatory, and then like you were saying on that second crack, we're going to be running the cool cycle, which then is just a few short minutes as well.
Do you have any temp interface, or is it just what it is?
Yep, it is what it is.
Okay.
And they didn't even really point to that specifically. I'm guessing it was probably kind of between 425 and 450, but even that seems inaccurate considering how long this is going to be roasting for. So unfortunately, we don't have an exact number for you.
You know what I'm most excited about is that whirligig.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see that in action.
Me too.
Okay, cool. So let's just start and we'll just time lapse it and see where we go.
All right. And start.
It's like drilling a hole for oil. Doesn't it look like that?
It does. Looks like in Armageddon, that big drill.
Exactly. You and Bruce Willis finally have something in common.
Now I'm going to open the door so the other people in this office don't get upset.
Got a little color change going on. I still wish that the beans were going up that whirligig and water falling down. Exactly. I have to admit I'm not as impressed with the functionality of the whirligig.
Yeah, actually, it should be like a full drill in there that fills the whole thing up, and then you just watch the beans go up it and back down.
So far, not that much smell.
Not as much, no. I mean, you
Just a little bit.
You definitely still smell it. I don't think the catalytic converter is catching as much as it
Claims to.
advertises it might, but
Yeah.
we'll see in a few minutes.
You know, at this point in the roast, it was less stinky on the iRoast than it is here with the door open.
Yeah, and I felt like it moved a lot quicker on the iRoast too. Like this coloration seems pretty light still versus
I know.
the iRoast, which is almost like pitch black by the time.
And
5
it's been,
minutes go by.
yeah, I know, about 5 minutes. And all right, so we are about 7 minutes into our situation. No cracking.
It's getting there.
You know,
It's-
crack is whack, Rob.
Crack is how the world works. I don't know what that means.
I don't either. But anyway, so it's still, 7 minutes in, it's still pretty light. Anything you've been noticing so far in this roast, Rob?
The thing I'm kind of surprised about is how fewer beans we're using in this versus the iRoast, and it's taking so much longer. And it does kind of smell too.
Yeah, it's a little smellier.
Yeah.
Even though they say it's got the catalytic converter. Love the motion though. We were saying like with the iRoast, at a certain point, we did a little shake ourselves just to make sure it got a little more even.
Yeah.
I don't think we're really gonna have to worry about it with this,
Nope.
dude. With Bruce Willis drilling.
Bruce Willis Armageddon drill at work.
Exactly.
These beans will stay even.
All right. So we're at 8 minutes, and it's a tawny roast at this point, folks. Okay, we had to finally give in and turn the fan on. We're at 11 minutes in. Still not much change, but it's definitely a little stinkier.
Yeah, a little stinkier, slower roasting. I'm a little worried it's going to explode and I'm going to have to duck and cover. No, I'm just kidding.
Cover your arteries, Rob. You actually failed to point out the most... Yes.
That is Comic Sans, folks. My favorite font.
Of all fonts. That's because you're a fun guy.
For all you typography nerds out there, that is Comic Sans on the front of this machine.
Too bad they didn't just put Papyrus up here. Hey, Rob.
We are crackless with 8 minutes to go.
Yeah.
But we're definitely seeing it expand quite a bit.
It has expanded, but it seems like it should have cracked, or we should have heard cracks.
Yeah.
I don't know. One thing we were talking about is there's a lot more chaff in here than with the iRoast.
Yeah, and like the iRoast seemed to do a pretty good job of getting it completely up into the filter. This one's
Exactly.
kind of all up and down there.
We're going to have to do some cleaning.
Yeah.
Well, get your ear up close, Rob.
Okay.
But remember, it's hot. We're concerned about our lack of crack here.
We're out of crack.
I mean, yeah, it's the color's starting to look close to what we want, but no crack. Oh, I just heard it.
I heard it too.
Okay.
Or did we?
No, I did hear a little bitty. Oh,
Cool cycle.
it's just going into its cool cycle now. So this guy is just like, this is what I'm gonna do.
And it is tornado mode now.
Maybe that gets rid of the chaff
Yeah, maybe. All right.
as it
well,
tornadoes up.
perhaps we judged too soon. 'Cause
You know what?
definitely
Now I got to take all the bad stuff I said about that whirligig. It's now really working it out in there.
It's in the last 100 meters of the asteroid.
Exactly. I was all like poo-pooing it, and then Nesco's like, "Don't do me like that. I will show you."
Just wait. Patience,
Exactly.
child.
All right. Well, we're on cool down. We'll be back when we're ready to take a look at it.
Yep.
Pour it out. We
All right.
have our reference sample of some of Velton's handiwork here.
I would like to point out that I'm going to retract my retractment because there's still chaff in the tube there. So.
Oh yeah, we were
But-
saying that like once it got up and it got
It was going away. and
Retract my
I could-
retractment.
I still see it kind of down in the beans. But we'll be kind of we'll do an assessment here in a second. I have a feeling. Okay.
Is that very hot?
It's a little warmer.
Is that the little container that it's supposed to all be in?
Yeah. Oh, I think I'm going to need something to grab that because it's a little toasty.
Yeah, well, there's around. We'll see.
Yeah. We'll see what happens here. Okay. Yeah, a lot of chaff in there, but
Good color though, Rob.
yeah,
I mean, it's almost indistinguishable. This one, to my eye, seems a little lighter, but
Yeah.
very minimal.
yeah. Let's see. I mean,
Now, we should say that this coffee was roasted much earlier than this one, so
yeah,
we'll see how they settle in, I guess.
yeah. I mean, yeah. We'll give it the old taste test and give you guys a final result. But right now, I think, I mean, it looks, right out of the machine, it looks relatively the same. So a lot lighter.
Do we have a
than
lot
that.
of the? Do we have a lot of the chaff down in there still, though? Huh?
Yeah, I mean, and you can see here on the plate, like it's definitely in there.
Messier. Okay, it's pre-ground.
So, yeah.
Okay, cool. So we will be back in a few days to
Yep.
do our side by side.
Yep.
Thanks, Rob.
Yep. Thank you.
Rob, it's the moment of truth for the Nesco.
Round 2.
Yes. So we're gonna do our French press of these guys again. Why don't you break it down for us?
So we've got my personal roast over here, done with the Nesco.
Okay.
Then we've got Velton's Bonsai right here as well. We're going to use the same technique as last time. A lot easier to see this time that we got relatively similar results to what a Velton bean looks like, where it's a much lighter roast, definitely not as much oil as the last one.
Yeah.
Which was shiny, and you could rub the oil right off the bean. So we're kind of hoping for a little bit more similar taste here. I think last time the result we kind of found was we kind of burnt a little bit of the flavor out.
Yeah.
By over roasting. So we're hoping this time we don't do that. Haven't done
Okay.
that.
Cool. So we're going to just do a couple of press pots and we will be right back.
All right, here we go.
This is the Veltons that you have.
This is
on
Velton's in the white and Rob in the pink.
You're so dainty, Rob.
All right, here we go.
And this time, what I want to say to folks is the best thing about Rob is that he learns from his past mistakes.
Exactly.
He brought water this time.
I did. I'm actually going to have an official palate cleanse on this one. All right, here we go with Velton's.
Okay.
To give ourselves that quality benchmark.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it tastes like Velton's.
Okay. It's good.
Yep, normal.
Cleanse. Rinse.
All right,
Okay.
my home brew.
Go, Rob. Go, Rob. Go, Rob.
Not sitting right.
Uh-oh.
A little bitter.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, something's a little sour about it.
Okay.
Here, I'll give you the.
Do you think the roast was a little under
Maybe.
this time?
Yeah, I don't know. I think you've got a better palate for that than I do. So.
That's how I cleanse.
The official way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like it's sour. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely got, I would say, yeah. I don't know.
I'm not
That's not
gonna
sitting well.
write home about this one. That's
Yeah, that's not sitting well.
Yeah.
What do you think we could do differently?
I don't know. It was interesting because
I mean, the color is so similar.
we did
Yeah.
find that there was quite a bit of chaff in the actual grind. That might have something to do with just the kind of
Yeah.
signals that we're not getting only bean in there. We're getting kind of a lot of those flakes that you're trying to avoid. There was a couple things that were a little weird, like the eye roast, for example, the one we did last week. We let go for 7-8 minutes and then it was done, and then all of a sudden we have a super dark bean. And then with this the Nesco here, it was 25 minutes or something, and then it barely hit this medium roast. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming it just probably didn't cook it quite the right temperature. Or maybe
Like maybe
something
there's
was off,
like
yeah.
a rapidity.
Yeah.
There you go, element.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, that wasn't sitting well though. But I mean, it's not terrible. I wouldn't say it, but I just would prefer I'll give this one to the master. The victory's mine.
Another point for Velton. Man, he's just collecting them.
No, it's like he's experienced or something.
He's like the Michael Phelps of roasters. Okay. Thanks, Rob.
Yeah, thank you.